Hey guys, Dario from Infamous again. I just thought I'd give you some updates on the Malibu and some other stuff that I got going on. We haven't done a ton with the Malibu. Took it out to a streetcar shootout a couple weeks ago. I raced it in the 1150 class, didn't do too good because I'm not much of a bracket racer, but I did go 1090 at 129 when I decided to run it out. And it did go 107 miles an hour in the 8th once, so we're starting to get things figured out. The one thing we really noticed is that the converter's just begging for mercy, so I was kind of up in the air about whether I was going to change the converter or change the gears and the tires or do something like that. The tires really didn't seem to be working that great either, so I have my buddy Ryan wants these for his Turbo LS Zephyr wagon, so I'm going to sell these back to him for the 50 bucks that I paid. And then I got a set of 275 Pros off my buddy Scott that have a couple hits left in them. We're going to try those. And then I ended up getting a set of 355 takeouts for 60 bucks. So I'm still hanging in there in the budget. I'm right around 2 grand still. I'm still going to try to keep this thing at 2 grand or around, not much over, but it's just going to be whatever it is at the end, that's what it is. So I'm going to probably have it out in a couple weeks. I haven't been messing much with it lately. We've been just taking it out, beating on it, having fun, rolling burnouts everywhere. It's been holding up well. Tune's good. I don't even carry my laptop with me anymore. I just let it eat, keep meth in it, keep gas in it, and change the oil every once in a while, and it's been fun. The main reason I haven't been messing with this much is because I've been messing with this. This is my other car. We call it the PO mod. It's a twin turbo aluminum 5.3 out of like an 08 truck, like a Gen 4 5.3. It's got a CNC, old school CNC NASCAR camping truck series heads on it. Chinese professional products intakes that I modified for 16 injectors. I'm not really using the top set of injectors yet, but I'm using the bottoms. I have the Latvian 210's in the bottom right now. It runs on E98. It's got twin Rev 9 7268 turbos. That's the rad. It's got a fan on each side. I used to run this thing unintercooled. I'm in the process of switching it over to air-to-water intercooler. So you can see the intercooler that I put together out of some Chinese cores. I'll post up some better pictures of the intercooler as I was building it. Everybody seems to have really good luck running E98 or E85 without intercoolers, but it seems like guys have a lot bigger of a tuning window running it intercooled. So I needed to move some weight around on the car because the car is 2,250 pounds without me. And a lot of the weight when I sit in it, because I'm 300 pounds, is on the driver's side. So anyways, as I was saying, I was going to move all the water and put everything on the passenger side to even out the car. So hopefully that'll give it a little more balance while it's going down the track. So there's my battery. It's just like a little lawnmower size battery, 450 cranking amp deal. Weighs like 18-20 pounds. No reason to move it to the back, keep your battery cable short. What else? So this has a C6 exhaust manifolds flipped upside down, and then these are Schedule 40 pipe, the wastegate branched off. And then I have my coils mounted. You can kind of see them down there. They're mounted to the side of the block where the engine would, motor mounts would normally go. I have a mid-plate and ICT billet mid-plate and motor plate in this thing. Uses a LS2 style Corvette balancer and water pump. I welded a bung dash 16 onto the front, and then I welded that spout on. Most people know that when you do LS swaps, they're a bitch to bleed, but this actually ties into the rear side that fills the block. So the first thing you do when you fill this thing, it fills the block. So it's got a Chev Celebrity GM alternator. It's like a 90 amp alternator that's mounted backwards because there's no room for the motor plate. Things get pretty tight when you have a twin turbo LS Chevette with an intercooler. I'll just walk around the back here. This is the cockpit. This is a a 25-1G chassis. That's where I normally have my tablet. The steering wheel is removable because it's kind of hard to get into. Switch panels up there. This is all lots of homemade stuff. Nothing's bought. It doesn't have speed wire stuff. It doesn't have anything fancy. I built the steering column. It's got Kurt keys because they're super comfortable. Not a hell of a lot of room there. I've had these white wheels sitting on the shelf. I just threw these on. These are 15x12 rod lights. So they have 28x11.5 ET drags on them. I had radios on them, but I'll post up a video. The first weekend I had this thing out, I did a big burnout at a dyno car show kind of thing in Lethbridge, Alberta. So I did a big burnout there, and it kind of killed the radials, so I figured I'd try these slicks and these rims that I had kicking around. They're a little more tucked in than I'd like. I wish they were spaced out about an inch, but it'll do for now, and that's all I can really ask about it. Normally has a parachute on the back. It's gone 970 at 143 miles an hour. Here's more. That little round circle is how I check my transmission fluid. Steering wheel, this has a MS3 Pro in it. It's got a bump box, traction control, wheel speed sensors, boost control. It shifts the tranny by myself. I made that. That's a Speedmaster B&M Bandit knockoff shifter. I've pretty much made everything on this car. This car is like super low budget. That's one of the reasons why we call it the Poe mod, because I could have bought a lot of stuff, but instead I built a lot of stuff. So that's that. Here I'll just show you the back of it. This is the intercooler tank. Oh, it's hard to see, but this is the intercooler tank I'm building. It's like 4 gallons. I just got to cut the hole for the top. This is the top thing there. This is where I get to my fuel. There's my hula girl. Typical little latch there. There's my fuel cell. I can get to my shock adjustments from there. The tank's in there. I'm going to mount my external water pump in there for the intercooler. You can see more of the chassis. This chassis is good for 6.0 in the quarter. Like I said before, this has got 970 at 143 on about 500 wheel horsepower, if not less. We were having some issues last year. That's why I kind of went through the motor, switched up the ignition system a little bit, so it's running on a 58X crank wheel and a front cam read sensor. The motor's got a Brian Tooley Stage 2 twin turbo cam in it, Johnson lifters, comp push rods, Tooley trunnion upgrade, platinum Tooley springs. It has Del West titanium valves in the old NASCAR heads. Just trying to think of what else it's got a Freak Show Performance Powerglide in it with what is it, a PTC 9.5 out of Chris Bisher's S10. It seems to work really good in this. It's got a 9-inch, narrowed 9-inch with a Speedmaster Chinese third member, aluminum third member with 355 gears for now. What else? Like all kinds of stuff. This thing is probably the most homemade thing ever. I've spent a lot of time thinking things out. I wanted to keep a flat hood, that's why I did the 16 injector thing. Originally I was going to run this car on methanol, I still may one day, so that's why I'm keeping those second set of injectors just there for now. We made some test hits on the street last Saturday. I'll post up a video of that, just one quick launch video. I just wanted to, we're 2 hours away from the racetrack, so I just wanted to see if everything was working okay before I go out again and start making hits on this thing once the intercooler stuff's all finished. So stay tuned for that part. Everybody always asks me about the S10's in my videos, because I've built a few S10's. I've actually built 3 Turbo LS S10's, and I actually have 2 of them in my possession right now. This is not the last one, but the second to last one that I built. The last one I built isn't here. This is a 2002 Extreme. It's got the Dema GT45 kit. It's a 2005-2006, like a newer rotted 5.3 sloppy stage 1 cam, stock ECU with drive-by-wire with a Shannon Taylor harness. It's pretty tight. Like, there's not a lot. It uses all truck accessories. It's got power steering. It's got all that kind of stuff. It's got a 4L80 with a stock converter for now. I want to say it made around 500-ish, 550 maybe, on 10-12 pounds. He wants to do a bunch of, this is my customer Ken's, he wants to do a bunch of upgrades. This has my turbo kit that I built for these. The crossover is in the front and the wastegate is down below. It's got a 44mm BS wastegate, 3.5-inch downpipe. Those are all the O2s for the wideband and the factory harness and stuff. It's got 80-pound deck injectors. It's a really cool, fun street truck. He just wants to get a little more serious with it, so we're going to be upgrading the turbo, converter, probably putting a cage in it because he'd like to go 9s with this thing. So I'm just fixing a little voltage issue. I think the alternator's not charging, that's why it's here. So it's got a narrowed Explorer 8.8 with re-drilled bolt pattern, so it's got the stock wheels on it. Just a nice little clean street truck. And this was the first one I did. This is it's like a 88, 89 Jimmy Blazer, S10 Blazer. It's got a earlier 5.3 in it, turbo 400 with a brake, same sort of turbo kit. Every time I do one of these trucks, the turbo kit's always the same, but it's kind of different because the engine sits, everybody uses different mounts, everybody uses different setups, so I always end up building different manifolds and stuff to fit each vehicle. So this is, it's got a 70mm, Chinese 70mm, it's a early 5.3, it's got a old school, probably one of Shannon's first micro squirt harnesses in it with a micro squirt controlling it. It's got 47-pound GT500 injectors. What else does it have? It's just here for a bunch of finishing. We're going to put a sloppy stage 1 cam in it, and then it's going to go to get dynoed. You can see, I always use Camaro manifolds, like 2010 Gen 5 Camaro manifolds, flip forward, and then the crossover goes down in behind the power steering there. You can see it's pretty tight to the steering shaft, but it actually doesn't touch. What else about this thing? This thing's pretty cool too. It's got a Explorer 8.8 in it, but it's not narrowed. That's one of the things we're going to be doing over the winter. It's wrapped and stuff, so another cool little 500 horsepower street truck. But everybody always asks on the channel that, what about the S10? What about the S10? I also built another regular cab short bed S10 with a on 388mm and a 6-liter, and it has a turbo 350 in it, and it's out and about terrorizing the streets now. It's another one of those 500 plus horsepower S10s, which in a 2,500 to 3,000 pound or so vehicle, it's pretty awesome. So here's this one, here's that one again, and that's kind of an update for now. I'll post up a bunch of videos. I'm probably going to be posting a lot more about the PO-Mod more than the Malibu, because the Malibu I really only got 1 or 2 shots at going 9s, and then they're going to kick me out for the year. So I'd rather go make some hits and get my licensing done for this, because I really want to turn this thing up this year and make some passes. So thanks to everybody that's been subscribing. I think I'm around 2,000 subscribers, and I've been trying to get to everybody's questions on when they're asking and stuff, but the #1 question is when you're going to make your next vid. So here it is. Sorry for the delay. Sorry if it's not what you were expecting. Still haven't run 9s yet, but we're getting there. So thanks.